Can the mayor of New York really order the arrest of one of the world's most controversial leaders? That's the question dominating headlines after Zohran Mamdani suggested he is exploring whether Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu could be arrested if he visits New York for the United Nations General Assembly this September. The statement has now triggered a fierce response from the United States, Israel, and several political leaders. So, is this legally possible, or is it simply political theater? Let's break down exactly what happened. The controversy began after New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani spoke about Benjamin Netanyahu's expected visit to New York for the annual UN General Assembly. During the interview, Mamdani made his position crystal clear. He said, "I believe that Prime Minister Netanyahu belongs in The Hague. He's a war criminal who has been charged by the International Criminal Court." Mamdani also revealed that his administration is currently examining what legal authority the city may have. He added, "Whatever the law allows me to do in New York City, that's what we will do, but we won't be writing our own laws to that end." That statement immediately grabbed international attention. The background to this controversy goes back to the International Criminal Court's arrest warrant against Benjamin Netanyahu over alleged war crimes linked to the Gaza conflict. However, the legal situation inside the United States is far more complicated. The U.S. is not a member of the International Criminal Court, meaning ICC warrants do not automatically become enforceable inside the country. That distinction has become the center of this entire debate, with critics arguing that a New York mayor simply does not possess the authority to arrest a visiting foreign head of government under these circumstances. The strongest response came from U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations Mike Waltz. Rejecting Mamdani's remarks, Waltz called the proposal pure political theater. Then he explained why he believes such an arrest cannot legally happen. According to Waltz, the United States is not party to the Rome Statute that underlies the International Criminal Court. The UN Headquarters Agreement grants diplomatic protections to visiting heads of government. Head of state immunity applies, and federal authority trumps any local mayor's wishes. His message was direct. Whatever a city mayor may want politically, federal law and international diplomatic protections ultimately take precedence. Israel also hit back almost immediately. Israeli ambassador to the United Nations, Danny Danon, launched a sharp personal attack on Mamdani. He said, "If anyone should be arrested, it is New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani." Then, Danon accused the mayor of ignoring the issues facing New Yorkers. He stated, "Mamdani is failing to govern New York. Instead of focusing on his responsibilities as mayor and confronting the rising wave of anti-Semitism in his city, he has chosen to incite hostility and generate headlines by attacking the state of Israel." The Israeli ambassador also insisted that the controversy would not stop Netanyahu from traveling to New York. The legal argument doesn't end there. Under the United Nations Headquarters Agreement, foreign leaders attending official UN meetings are generally granted diplomatic protections while traveling to and from the event. Combined with the long-standing principle of head of government immunity, legal experts say those protections make any attempt by a city government to detain a visiting prime minister extraordinarily unlikely. That is precisely why Washington believes the issue isn't even a close legal call. For U.S. officials, this is not about agreeing or disagreeing with Netanyahu. It's about who actually has the authority to enforce international law inside the United States. And according to them, that authority certainly doesn't rest with New York City mayor. The criticism didn't stop with diplomats. Mark Traeger, CEO of the Jewish Community Relations Council of New York, also condemned Mamdani's comments. He accused the mayor of chasing headlines instead of governing. Traeger said, "New Yorkers deserve a mayor focused on public safety, affordability, and quality of life, not someone trying to play international prosecutor." He also argued that the remarks risk damaging New York City's standing as the home of the United Nations, where leaders from across the world gather every year for diplomacy, negotiations, and peace talks. For critics, the concern isn't simply about one controversial statement. They believe it sends the wrong message about New York's role on the global stage. Supporters of Zohran Mamdani, however, see the issue very differently. They argue that raising questions about accountability for alleged war crimes is a legitimate political position, especially after the International Criminal Court issued its warrant. Critics, however, argue that regardless of personal opinions about the Gaza conflict, a mayor cannot override federal law, diplomatic immunity, or international agreements. That difference between political messaging and legal authority is exactly what has turned this into an international controversy. What began as a statement during an interview has now drawn responses from senior American officials, Israeli diplomats, and community leaders, pushing a local political debate onto the world stage. With the UN General Assembly only weeks away, all eyes will now be on Benjamin Netanyahu's visit to New York. Will the trip go ahead without disruption? Will there be demonstrations outside the UN? Or will this controversy gradually fade as legal realities take over political rhetoric? For now, there is no indication from U.S. federal authorities that any arrest action is being considered. Instead, officials continue to insist that diplomatic protections and federal jurisdiction remain fully in force. That means the debate is likely to stay political rather than legal.